Welcome back. This is the video describing how you can edit and create posts. Posts are essentially small blocks of content that are used on WordPress pages, generally in a blog format. So you generally run it on a news page or a newsletter type page for a post with regards to building a site in WordPress. It's done really easily by clicking on the post button from the top here, and then edit will take you to the screen full of posts that we already have. And you may remember in the first video I showed you that there was a description on how to do a quick post, and you can see the quick post that we put in is just called test, and this is bringing up how the screen actually looks once we're into the screen. There's two modes for editing in WordPress. A quite common mistake for people to make when editing a post or a page is to use what they think is the visual mode, and in fact they're usually in the HTML mode. You can tell the difference if you're a little bit confused and the page looks like a little gibberish on it for some people. Then simply click the visual button and that will take you into the preferred mode for editing your posts. Now when you're putting in a post, it looks very similar to how you might already use a word processor or perhaps an email system. And across the top here we've got some of the standard sorts of icons that you might see, like bold, italics, strike through, unordered lists or buttons, basically ordered lists with numbers, for example. So there's a button version, there's a number example. Go back and show you bold, you can see it happening in real time. Bold italics with a strike through. So you get the idea that it's an immediate what you see is what you get editor. And you can see the same thing. We've got left align, right align. We've got things like insert more tags, we've got insert links. Some of these may not be in a common word processor, but even nowadays I guess you'll see a lot of word processors will include buttons for links. We've got a spell checker that runs multiple languages should you require it. We've got here a full screen mode, so if you want to run WordPress a bit more like a word processor, you can click full screen mode and toggle in and out of that. We'll toggle back down. And over here we've got hide show kitchen sink. This is simply a function to allow you to see more or less options that are available with WordPress. Generally speaking, I would leave that in the show kitchen sink mode, but if you're not a nerd like me, you might want to switch it just down to the next level. Across the top here we have the title of the post. Before we called it test, we'll change this to first post, and down the bottom here we'll actually type in this is my first post. And again, you can do simple things like make them bold, move them around, put an underline, things like that. Here we can change the formatting type, so you can run them as a paragraph, an address, pre-formatted, make them into a bigger heading, small heading. The thing about WordPress is people often ask, should I change the font colors? Can I mess around with the fonts? Generally speaking, you can change the colors of the font, but I would stick to the font families that have been predetermined by the theme of your site. The one thing your site needs to be is consistent. So we've got the ability to add media if you want to. So for example, if you want to embed a video of some description, you can easily do that by using the embed media function and then press insert. Just close that down there. We've got the same for inserting custom characters. Now here we've got two different types of buttons you may not have seen before. This is if you'd like to paste text from another document, and this is if you'd like to paste text strangely from a Word document. Pasting text from a Word document would simply require us to cut and paste our Word document content, so using Control-C, pasting it in here with Control-V. The reason now why they have paste Word separately to paste just plain text is that Word includes a lot of additional material in your content than you would otherwise see, and that needs to be cleaned up before it can be edited. Now over here we've got basically the published section for our post here. We could save it as a draft if we wanted to. We could preview it if we wanted to have a look at what it looked like. We could publish it right now. We could throw it away. There are other things that we can do. We could publish it immediately, or if better than that, if we wanted to publish it say in a week's time, we could set the time and the date for it to become available to the public right here. Some of the other features you have are the ability to decide who can actually see it. You could password protect it. You could make it private. It's entirely up to you with it. You could also stick the post on the front page of your site. So if you wanted everybody to see it, you'd be able to do that simply by doing that. A few other things that we have for posts are tags. These are basically keywords. So maybe a keyword for this might be first post, and you can enter in as many keywords as you like. Generally speaking, I'd try to limit that to maybe a maximum of 30, but it's up to you on how you wish to do that. You simply separate them via comma. Now these keywords or tags are associated with this particular post. We've got the categories it could sit in. We've got the ability to have excerpts in here as well. So if we actually want to put an excerpt in it so people can see a bit of a description of it, that's too quite possible. And down the bottom of the page we've got some custom fields that could be added, and we've certainly got discussions. If you want to allow comments, for example, you turn on this allow comments section. If you want to allow tracebacks and pingbacks, you can allow them as well. You can also change the person who authored the page in itself. So back to the top of the screen, if we're ready now to publish this, we simply push the publish button, and that will now publish the post to the front page of our site. You can see across the top here we've got the ability to see that it's being published. It'll say post published, and you can immediately view the post by clicking on the view post button. And here we've got our first post here. This theme is a little bit incompatible with the color of the text that I use, but you get the idea.